installation of Windows 7 in VirtualBox, specifically inside Arch Linux. So I'm using Arch Linux, and it's the XFCE4 desktop, which I modified. So to get an ISO image, you can still download them from Digital River Microsoft. And this person here, Andre, thank you. And me too, I found this helpful. And I'm going to use Windows 7 64-bit. And that's from Microsoft Digital River. Alright, so I'm downloading that right now. And if I click on the information, download information, you can see that here's the address here. Okay, so everything's on the level. And it's 3.09 gigs for the 64-bit professional edition. So I'll have to wait a while for that to download. In the meantime, make sure you have VirtualBox installed, of course, from the official Arch Linux repositories via Pacman. And after it's downloaded and installed, just open a terminal and do a sudo mod probe. Probe dash and a space dash A, and then vbox drv. And if it doesn't come back, that means it's fine. And then you have to do sudo nano etc modules load dash load.d / virtualbox.conf, and all you have to do is type that in vbox drv, and then you save and exit. So I already have that in there, of course. So I'm just going to exit out of here. And then add yourself to the VBox users group. So it's sudo gpasswd dash add or dash a. And then instead of, you can type your username or just a $user. $user. And then VBox users. And it says adding username, your username, whatever it is, to the VBox users. Okay? And once this is downloaded, I'll continue installing Windows 7 in VirtualBox on Arch Linux. So next, let's move on. We'll fire up VirtualBox, and we'll create a new virtual machine. Click New, of course. You can either type in Win 7 or just select the drop-down list for the version. Like I said, I'm using Windows 7 64-bit, and then type in whatever you want to call it. Win 7 is good enough. Memory, quite a bit more we're going to need. So I'm going to allocate approximately 4 gigabytes of memory. So round it up to 4096. And next, create the drive now. Next, and let's give that 40 gigabytes. And I'm going to choose a different path for that on another hard drive. That's good enough. So 40 gigs and create. And we'll go to settings. System untick floppy. I have 6 cores. I'm going to give it 6 cores. Display, enable 3D. And this will only allow you to have 256 memory as well. And the storage. We're going to browse for where I downloaded that. It's in downloads. There it is there, the ISO. And we open that, and everything should be good to go. So you press start, and fingers crossed that we can start. There we go. So Windows 7, or Windows, is loading. And this will take some time. Once it's loaded up, click Next. And just hit Install Now. And setup is starting. So this is Windows 7 Professional Service Pack 1. Accept, hit Next. Now this part, click Advanced, Custom. And it should pick up the whatever you allocated for hard drive. In this case, I made it 40 gigabytes. Hit Next. And That's all the information we need right now. Your computer will restart several times during installation. So I'll be back after this is the next prompt to fill in whatever we need. I should mention as well as this is installing, before you get to this point where you fill in your username, just let it, don't touch anything, just let it go. If you see press any key to boot from disk, just ignore that, just let it install, okay? So with that out of the way, just type in a username, and we'll, let me see, let's call it Linux PC. Just for fun, PC. You can call anything you wish, okay? So, next. If you wish a password, but I'm just gonna not do that. Now, this part's important. If you want to call Microsoft and tell them what you've done, you've downloaded an ISO and you want to purchase a product key, they'll happily send you one for X amount of 100 and change and whatever dollars. I don't know what Windows 7 costs. So untick this, automatically activate Windows when I'm online, and then hit skip. Use recommended settings, and then you just set up your time zone and make sure it's right. And home network is usually the best bet. This takes the most amount of time in the installation. Well, post install for your user settings. There we go. Windows 7 is installed, and out of interest, just hit the Windows key and pause on your keyboard. Just want to see how long they give you before you have to activate it. Oh, great. Okay, so we have 3 days in this case until you have to activate. So obviously, I'm not going to be keeping this around too long. So the final step in this is go to Devices, install Guest Editions, and we're using VirtualBox, so you have to download it, and you download it from this site, download, and just give it a bit of time to download. It gives you the path as to where the ISO is. You can make note of that if you want to delete it later, or just keep it or remove it or whatever. So we'll insert it into the Windows, the virtual machine, and autoplay usually doesn't come up, so just click on the OR, go to computer, and double click this and select VBox Windows Editions and wait for the admin prompt to come up. Say yes, and we'll close this, and next. Now here's the this is a trick question. If you want to enable the arrow, peek the Windows, whatever they call it, you tick this box and you'll get this question. Would you like to install basic 3D support instead? Click no if you want the arrow. Okay? If you don't, you're going to have to reboot and go into safe mode and install experimental DirectX, I guess. I don't know. So click no. All right. And yes, we already did that. It's 256. And when we did the setup, and then press OK, and then install, and you might get another prompt. Yes, install device. You can check this, and then install. Continue installing. And when you're done, you get a prompt to reboot, and we should be pretty much finished up with installing Windows 7 in VirtualBox on Arch Linux. So after the reboot prompt, we have the guest editions installed. Now we should be able to make this larger, and it should adjust, or maybe not. I don't know. There we go. A little slow because I'm recording, I guess. I don't know. And back and forth. And so there you have it. Installing a Windows OS inside Arch Linux using VirtualBox. Okay, so I hope the viewer and everybody else found this video helpful, and any comments or suggestions, feel free to add them. And thank you so much for watching, and we'll talk to you soon then. and bye for now.